Hi, welcome. My name is Dale McCluskey. I'd like to take a couple minutes to discuss this permissive psychology issue. I get calls from dog owners all the time, and there's questions about the training methodology, whether the methods I use are positive, reward based, or whether I use choke chains or corrective collars, and I understand the questions, why people are asking the questions. But this is a thing to understand when, to really, and this is the problem and the reason why so many dog owners keep tasting the same Kool-Aid and really are just spinning their wheels and not getting anywhere. It's all because it's all about really how we think. It really is. When people are making assumptions and just using labels, and it's a real problem right now when it comes to dog training in general. I think people assume because the label people as dominance type of trainers or the science-based type of trainers, and I really discuss it because it's a issue that's going to it causes people to get really upset, and they just assume that the dog's being corrected. They're not really stepping back to see what I'm doing, or understanding this whole relational side of this, and that is a problem, because if your thinking is if you're just thinking from a certain point of view and you're not open to anything beyond how you're thinking, then you're going to reject the very advice or the very type of information that's going to help you succeed. It really is. And I guess people assume that how I approach training, just because I'm a dominance trainer. Well, no, there's a lot more happening here. Yes, it's about influence, and role change has to happen, and it's all about connection. I show all these different aspects of this. And it's, so when people call up and they speak with me, if they haven't bottomed out in their own thinking, if they're not ready to be open-minded, then it's going to be very difficult to accept anything else. You're not going to accept it. This is the problem with this type of permissive psychology. It gets in the way. It's very disabling, because it'll cause you to have a certain viewpoint that isn't going to bring you in competition to help your dog. It's not going to create role change through that. So, so when people call up and they'll say, positive reward based, just understand here something. It's all about how we think. That word itself, has so many different things about that through connection, that it's more than just, and this is what's happening, all this type of these ideas that are being these ideas through the so-called science of dog training that are being exploited. In these high fail rates that are happening, it's all because people don't see what this connection really is. They're all caught up in just thinking a certain way, and even this idea about love itself, about loving your dog. I really challenge a lot of that, because it's about self. It really is. So, nature exposes agendas. It really does. Nature's amazing that way. It really does. It'll kind of leave you out stranded and naked, so to speak, because it exposes our real motives and intent. And I understand that. So, the system of training is about truth. It's about making sure that role change is going to happen. And there's a lot more happening here than people see. If you just watch one of my videos and you just approach it with a closed mind and a certain way of thinking, you're not going to see truth in it. Okay, you're not going to see what you need to see. You're going to be blinded. You're basically going to be in darkness. And this is what happens, and this is what's happening even with trainers. These are highly educated trainers. They're walking in darkness because they're indoctrinated to these ideas. It's a belief system at that level, and that's why so many are willing to just medicate or give up on dogs that could otherwise be saved. I know it, I see it, I know what's going on, but it just really comes down to your choices and your decisions. So So I just want to put this out here for people when they're calling me. I don't throw my credentials out in front of this like so many trainers do to market and promote what they're selling. Either it's like this: either you have both feet in nature, or you don't. I understand the connection issue, what it represents beyond all the rhetoric and exploitation and marketing. And it is going to challenge you. It's very, it can be very tough stuff to take, but it's the truth. I mean, that's the thing. It's the absolute 100% truth of it. And my goal is to help people. But I can't help you if you're not willing to be open-minded. I mean, that's the bottom line here. So it's not about just making people feel bad and about blaming people here either, but you have to come to a point in the relationship that allows you to see nature for what it is, beyond all the, beyond just appearances. And so I move people beyond appearances, and the people I help, basically over 50% of them, they come from these systems where they failed out because of this type of weak and permissive psychology that isn't creating change, because people are following a certain roadmap through these ideas that just takes them farther away from the truth. So here, what I do is I provide a clear path. I remove all the foolishness. I just push it to the side. And my approach is based on making sure role change happens. So regardless of where you're at now, regardless of past failure, regardless of your current situation, this system of training can help. It really can. It's going to move you forward. It's going to see you. It's going to allow you to see truly where you're at. Because that's the whole issue. You've got to know where you're at in the context of nature, so that you know where you're going. Otherwise, you're lost. So this system of training allows you to see that, so that you can move forward. That's what this system of training is about. And anything that gets in the way of that is just pushed to the side. And so when you have a session with me, I break it all down. It's important. It's the whole philosophy of the system. It's important to understand not just to do something, but why you're doing it. That's the whole thing. There's no point doing something unless you know why you're doing it. So here, all the benchmarks are laid out. This is a goal-oriented system, and I truly understand these ideas about learning and about positive reinforcement and devices, and I show you all that. I get to the core of it. This is about connection. It's about basically it's all about how you think and how you connect with your dog, so that everybody wins. So that you get not just your needs met, but your dog's needs as well. So it's understanding the difference between wants and needs, because we all want to have a happy and balanced relationship with our dog, but the needs have to be met on the nature side of things in order for that to happen, and it can happen. But you have to have faith, you have to have an open mind, and you have to see beyond appearances, and you have to see beyond the labels and the rhetoric, and and just approach it that way. So anyway, just something to think about as you consider dog training. Understand that when you are just looking at it from appearances, nature can be extremely deceiving. It can take people's legs right out, especially if you're thinking a certain way. It really can, because this happens not just to dog owners, but trainers. And this is common, and but I show it. So it's about making sure role change happens. That's it, which is going to impact the decision-making process of your dog at the unwanted behavior level. So that is the standard, and I show the system of training focuses on that. It shows what the real standard it really is. It always takes it back to that. And so the emphasis, this is an owner-focused system, and to change how your dog perceives you, so that you can meet all your goals and you can enjoy a mutually happy and balanced relationship with your dog. So thanks very much for watching. I hope you have a great day.